Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Dara Ejirika. So if you're new to this channel, this is where I share my journey through self-improvement. Yeah, getting through depression, reconnecting with myself. I hope that whatever I share connects with you when you need it or don't need it. Whichever, I hope that it also helps you get through whatever it is you may be experiencing. So today I want to talk about healing emotional trauma that comes with relationship and breakup. I know I've touched on this topic before in a different video. Yeah, I'll tag it. So in case, watch it because I also shared more things there. But what inspired this video was getting triggered even yesterday. Yeah, I found myself having to go through old chats between me and somebody because I was trying to find a password. Yeah. So that was a little bit uncomfortable for me, but in that moment, I knew that I needed to, like, for some reason, when I was going through it in initially the chats between me and this person, it's somebody that we are no longer connected. I I felt fear, but also a lot of things. But in that moment of going to the chats, my subconscious, everything I've been learning, I started talking to myself that it was okay that that happened, basically, or that we are no longer connected. But in that moment, I started to find grace and compassion, not just for them, yeah, but mainly for myself. That, when things end and when things happen, we often find ourselves focusing on how bad things were or things that were not okay that we accepted, things blah blah blah. And sometimes we don't remember that it wasn't always that way, yeah. And this is not an excuse for you to go back to such situation. It's just like you getting really honest with yourself that there were good moments and there were bad moments. Don't only recognize the bad things that happened. That and in that moment I felt like compassion for myself that you know what, I didn't need to know that maybe this person wasn't being honest with me. I didn't need, like, is at the end you maybe learn that certain things may have happened, sorry, that certain things may have happened, or at the end that you learn that, oh, this person was lying to me all along, or this person was being shady and all. But it's like we tend to be unkind to ourselves when certain things, especially when it comes to romantic relationships, and we tend to be unkind to ourselves. We tend to be, I know that we are angry with those people, but one thing that is not really recognized is that we also hold resentment and anger for ourselves. And that is when we start to move towards the, oh, I'm never going to do this again. Thinking that we are, I don't know, but being, should I say, being smart or trying to, I don't know, whoever it is that we think we are punishing. But at the end of the day, it turns out that it tends to be us that we punish. We tend to punish ourselves for not knowing how a situation was going to end. We tend to punish ourselves for different things. So I, in that moment, started talking to myself because I hadn't gone through that. And this is like when you get triggered. Yeah, I was triggered yesterday, but it wasn't that yesterday I was going through the chat. Yeah, I needed to go. Realized that I needed to go to chat through the chat the next day, but I digress. Anyway, so it was like in that moment, yeah, I started speaking to myself that, and this is when this happens when you're somebody that gets really honest with yourself. And in that moment, I started talking to myself that it wasn't a crime or it's not a bad thing that you like somebody. And this is the thing that I would even relate back to being a teenager or childhood, where maybe because somebody likes you and because you like somebody and they don't like you back, people tend to take that personal, like an insult towards themselves, really looking like a fool, things like that. I remember like someone had referenced something that because I liked somebody and did something for them, it meant I was foolish. But no, in that moment, I remembered all those things and I said, like, it's not a bad thing that you try to care for somebody or you like somebody. When you like people, you do things for them, right? It's not a crime that you tend to do this or you tend to, like, don't punish yourself for feeling that way. It's recognizing that, okay, with how much healing I have done, I understand that even being kind and compassionate comes with boundaries. And it's okay. I didn't even have that much boundaries there. I didn't know much about boundaries then. But now it's like I know better, so I'm going to do better. Thanks to man Angelo's quotes, where you know better, do better. And this is how I'm able to let go of past relationship experiences and move on. If you want to move on, you have to get really honest with yourself. And this is not the first time I'm going through this process, because one thing, I don't know if I mentioned this in a different video before, but when I was younger, I used to numb things. A lot of us, you find out that how you get through a maybe an emotionally traumatizing experience is that you tend to numb it, or you tend to block it out and forget it. So you never really get through it. And then when you get triggered, those things come back. They come to meet you in, like, this happened nine, like some things can happen 9 years, 10 years ago, and it's coming to meet you in the present because maybe somebody has done something or hasn't done something that's triggering that emotional wound that you have inside. So whenever you recognize your triggers, it's not the time for you to run or hide. I used to do that too, but or be scared, because I think that what is even the fear in that moment, or even me going to that chat, was that fear of feeling that pain again. We are scared of pain. That's the truth. Pain is necessary for our growth, yeah. But we are scared of pain, but then we need to find a more courageous approach to it. Today is courage on my calendar. There's this thing I do that every month. I draw, not every month, I draw like a calendar that kind of like takes 4 weeks or 6 weeks, depending. And then for each day, just set practices that I do. I don't get it from anywhere. I just do it from me feeling and just writing. And today had to be practice courage. When I saw it, I was like, like, why didn't you tell me I was going to be dealing with this? Yeah, but it was necessary. That practicing courage was necessary. And courage is us facing our fears. Courage can be you finally healing that emotional wound. Courage can be you finally letting go. Mm? And for me, it's in that moment, it's me letting go of that pain I was feeling, or feeling resentful, and getting really honest with myself that yes, I couldn't tell certain people's behaviors, or I could read their mind, because sometimes people can do something and say something different. And even like healing, yeah, you need to still show yourself a lot of compassion, because I feel that it's the resentment of why, how didn't I know, or why shouldn't I have known that this was a red flag. And for me in that moment, I got really honest with myself that I wouldn't have known. I know that I didn't have boundaries, but I was leaning towards the side of showing somebody compassion, because I know how hard life can get sometimes. And it's me still learning my lesson that yes, you can be compassionate, you can be kind, you can be loving, you can be there for people you care about, but you still have to have boundaries. Yeah, my laptop with them. You still have to have boundaries. So I'm still learning every day. I'm still working through my path. I'm still going through my process. But this was a very important lesson and practice. I still do it. This is not the first time I'm doing it. I did it when I was healing my relationship with my parents. Yeah. There was a part that was really tough that I had to say, you know what, it's okay for me to know all expectations that were put on me that I should have known this was wrong. I had to let all of that go. So, like I said, when you get triggered, that's an opportunity. And it's something I'm reading now. The book is far from me, but it's something I'm reading currently. From The Mountain Is You. Your triggers show you your wounds. And in this instance, I call it your emotional wounds. Your wounds show you your path. And this is from The Mountain Is You, basically. Your wounds show you your path. And I'll say that it is your path of should I heal or am I going to remain the way I am and run and hide and try to avoid and not be courageous? And your path shows you your destiny. And I'll say that how I'll explain that is that your choices, whether you choose to heal, yeah, if you choose to heal, that shows that you are moving like in this is not going to trigger you that way again. Your healed path, like your healed the version of yourself is is what you meet in the future. If that's right. I don't know, I'm not trying to confuse anybody or myself. But yeah, it shows you your destiny. So are you going to be your healed version or your unhealed version? It is your choice at the end of the day. So what I do in that moment when I was triggered was right. I don't know. Yeah. Normally I do snap and then write some things that I may be feeling, but some things I just may felt the need to just keep it to myself and just journal. And in that journaling, I got really honest with myself. I got really honest. I was talking about how that made me feel, how certain things make me feel. It's not like this might not be facts, but you getting really honest with your feelings and going real deep down. Like, why am I feeling this way? Why did I feel the need that maybe when somebody withdraws energy from me, it makes me, and for me, even connecting it to my childhood, yeah, there was a time that I felt neglect from my parents, and I felt like I was forgettable, like people will forget me. And this is a childhood trauma, emotional wound that I had to personally work on. So it's me getting really honest with myself that I am not forgettable. Yeah. Even if there's nobody else that can remember me, I matter to me. So it's you getting to the deeper meaning of what that situation makes you feel, connecting it if there's any way. Yeah, and that's like in that moment I know that, and this is where your feelings will comes in as well. And I like that these feelings will exist, that we tend to expand our emotional vocabulary because we all these things exist before as children, whereby you just see things as just anger, but now there's an opportunity to know that okay, it might not be anger, it might just be feeling betrayed, feeling neglected, feeling um excluded. And that gives you like more tools for you to get deeper into it and actually get honest with yourself. And if there's anything you need to forgive yourself for or let go, I feel that using all these tools, journaling, making use of feelings, will getting real honest with yourself will help you get to the root of whatever emotional wound you may be holding inside or experiencing. So I hope that sharing this, you're able to get something that might help you when you're feeling triggered. Like I simply say, if you feel triggered, it's okay to be triggered. There's no, and in that moment here, when I was feeling triggered, I've been working on myself for a while, so I've been able to work to the extent that I've been able to at least switch my subconscious from being so pessimistic to I'm still practicing how to not stay positive or negative, just have no judgment towards it. So in that moment, certain things can come up, you feeling triggered. So there's how I was feeling that I don't think I'm ready. Like I'm too traumatized. There's nothing like that. I had to get to like hold myself together and be like, this is not true. Your thoughts are not real. Like this feeling, I just started reminding myself that I know I'm feeling triggered, that I am enough, I'm healing. Do you get like removing self judgment of feeling like you're not enough? Because sometimes you're like the thoughts that will come up, they are made up of past experiences and beliefs, yeah, and they will say things that are not true. You have to be able to practice, yeah, to know that don't believe everything your mind says. And that's true. A lot of people say that a lot. Don't believe anything your mind says, everything your mind says. Some things are just made up from fear, yeah, past beliefs, past experiences. So I'll stop here in this video. I hope that sharing this is going to help you if you're trying to get or heal any emotional trauma or wound you may have experienced. Now, if you still need professional help, seek it. Me, I don't have money for therapy. I said it in another video. So I spent all these years working on myself. I read books, I watch YouTube videos because this is what's accessible to me. So I'm making use of the tools that I have with what I have. Anyway, stay tuned. I hope that this video brought you some sense of community to see that you're not alone. Because I think that's one thing that made me feel lonely. I didn't see anybody around me that was feeling the same way basically. So like, subscribe for more because I'm going to share more. And please share with your friends or anyone you know who needs it. See you in the next video. Bye. Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Cinderella Ejirika. Now, if